Hello, I'm Dogberry.
And I'm Verges.
Tea, Detective Verges?
Please.
Recently, we have been taking a long break from our case.
We've chosen to take this time to reflect on great detectives and cases of the past.
And we have decided to start with the greatest real-life detective who ever lived, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Sherlock Holmes was a detective who lived in Victorian times. He had an assistant, Mr. John Watson. Mr. John Watson. Mr. Dr. John Watson wrote these stories down under the pen name Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, we are going to read you the first of these stories. But before I do, I want to ask you a question, which you can ponder. What school did Sherlock Holmes learn how to be a detective in? Adventure 1, The Scandal in Bohemia, by Arthur Conan Doyle. To Sherlock Holmes, she is always the woman. In his eyes, she eclipses and predominates the whole of her sex.
So to reiterate, we're talking about a woman of some variety.
Yes.
Italicized with the.
Yes, the. And Sherlock Holmes clearly has some connection to her, for she represents all women to Sherlock Holmes. It was not that he felt any emotion akin to love for Irene Adler.
One mystery already solved. He's on fire.
But I think there's more, because there's lots more words. Virtuous. All emotions, and that one particularly, love, were abhorrent to his cold, precise, but admirably balanced mind.
This is what we all aim to be, is it not?
Indeed. He was, I take it, the most perfect reasoning and observing machine. Metaphor, by the way. He was not a robot.
Good for English essays.
That the world has seen.
So this encompasses some of the things you should always take into consideration when becoming a detective. There's no room for love or friendship on this job. Just the cold, hard truth.
Indeed. I had seen little of Holmes lately. My marriage had drifted us away from each other, while Holmes, who loathed every form of society, remained in our lodgings in Baker Street, buried among his old books and alternating from week to week between cocaine.
It's a metaphor.
He didn't. Detectives don't do.
The job.
Mr. Holmes walked into the opium.
Extended metaphor. English.
Totally hopped up on laudanum. He was. And the answer to the question I asked you at the beginning, what school did Sherlock Holmes learn how to be a detective in? Elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary. Yes, that is all.